of a whole lot of things. So I think it's a very good topic that we all need to address. So just a brief introduction about me. And when I said we're family, even though I'm an HR professional with over 5 years, I have a background. I studied chemical and polymer engineering from Lagos State University. And, so I know a lot of people will start with, how did you end up in HR, right? From chemical and polymer engineering. So a lot of people may or may not, practice what they studied, but HR is more of me. So I should have found one way I entered HR anyway. And that's why I'm passionate about giving back to my people. I'm also the founder of Career Life and the HR lead for Energy 360 Africa. So I work in a tech firm that also digitizes the downstream oil and gas. So I'm HR that works with engineers. So I've always worked with engineers a lot because I have an engineering background. So I'm always, I'm married to an engineer also. So that's another thing. And I'm also the convener of employability fitness programs. Whether you like it or not, I'm more of an engineer, you say so. So let's move forward. So what are soft skills? I'd like to know how many minutes I have so that I know that because I'm not getting feedback from people apart from the chat, that I can know how many minutes I should stay within. I'll appreciate it if 2 seconds tell me how many minutes I'm to talk. So I'm ensuring that I'm watchful of my time. Please just send me a chat message on the timing I have. So let's dive right in. What are soft skills? Okay. Okay, so what are soft skills? Soft skills are personal attributes that can affect relationship, communication, and interaction with others. Most people, when they're in school, we all focus on technical skills. Can you use HiSys? Can you use PDMS? I remember I did everything I could to learn PDMS, Plant Design Management System. All of us must work in oil and gas. We are looking for all the ways to ensure that you're passing your engineering maths. All these things are very good. Trust me, you will definitely need that because you will need to first pass all those hard tests. But what will make you thrive is not just what you know technically, but soft skills are some of the foundation of a successful career in the energy industry and even in any industry you find yourself. So there are personal attributes that can affect relationships, communication, and interaction with others. It can affect your growth, it can affect your promotion, and it positively or negatively, right? When I say affect, not just negatively. Soft skills are intangible and they're difficult to quantify, but these traits are more crucial to your overall career than you think. They're more crucial if you want to build a successful career than you think. You might just think, if I finish in first class, then I'm good to go. No, it doesn't mean because you're in the first class that means you're good to go. If you're able to complement soft skills, you would definitely face what you do. But if your soft skills aren't good enough, you're limiting your chances of career success. So soft skills are not just the only things you need to do to get a job. There are things you need to do to stay in the job and to stay in that industry. I interact with people in the oil and energy industry. You need soft skills to be able to do lots of things, calculating and fixing all lots of things. And to make sure. So it's something you need to start building. How the soft skill has great development. These are the relationships between skills and success. It helps to maintain relationships. Relationship building is one of the major of going to be anything in English and blood. You need soft skills to maintain relationship. It also boosts productivity. If you have the required soft skills for your job, you tend to be more productive. And also it creates upward mobility. Mobility is moving from one place to the other. And if you're just moving laterally, like somebody doesn't like it, just moving to another department, very soon you're going to find your way out. But if you have the required soft skills and you are able to build relationships well and do a lot of things well, not just technically, you are more likely to move up quickly. It also helps you to increase career visibility, right? Career visibility is a lot of things people take for granted. A lot of young graduates and professionals, they just believe that, let me do what I can do. It's between me, myself, and I. But guess what? It's those people that are visible that actually get promoted, that actually are giving the things they deserve. You see a lot of people complain that I've been on the job for like 8 years, my life has not improved because you're not being visible. But if you have the right soft skills, you're able to manage relationships well and also be visible. It also helps you to manage your reputation. Some people, them, let's even bring it down to school, right? I schooled in a place where in Ekpe campus, it was very big, but I can tell you that it was very small. Everybody. Everybody has a reputation for what they do. This one is mad person. Don't just come near him. You're just kind of people. This person is school-headed. This is the kind of person you want on your team. So if you want to even grow in any industry and even in the energy industry, are the kind of person that you already have the reputation of, don't go there. Don't even bring her to your team. She's going to scatter everywhere and you're definitely not going to like her. Your reputation is also very key. So these are the relationships between soft skills and career success. So what are the relevant soft skills that you need to accelerate development? These ones are very key. So I'm going to highlight them. I hope you can see my screen anyway. I'm going to talk through some of these soft skills. I'm going to talk more on it and link it to how important they are, especially for the energy industry. So let's start with critical thinking and problem solving. So why were you employed in the first place? Why would I invest, let's say, 400,000 to bring you to my organization? I'm employing you in the first place to come and solve a problem. If I didn't have space, if I do not have a problem that needs to be solved, then I would not bring you in the first place. No business is charity, right? Nobody would want to pay you to just be seeing your fine face in the morning. Like, why would I do that? I'm bringing you in to solve problems. So one of the critical skills that you need is your problem solving skills. And critical thinking is your ability to think critically to solve a problem, your ability to have a thought process that leads to solving a problem. There's something like this. There's something called algorithms, right? If I can remember, I left engineering, I God knows when. Algorithm are step-by-step processes to how you can solve a problem. If I'm right, I think we wrote some algorithms then. Never really liked the course, but I understand what it means. So now what does it mean to how should you or why should you have problem solving skills? You should be the kind of person that if they have any issues, they'll be like, go to Yewande, she'll help you. Because they know that you know how to dissect the problem. You're not just kind of person that say, it cannot be done. But they say, don't worry. I cannot do it. But people will always have issues, and that's why you are in a place. So, for example, I'm the HR. When you have human issues, I should be able to solve it well. And nobody plans for issues. But when it comes, how well are you able to think? How well are you able to analyze? How well are you able to dissect the issue? How well are you able to organize your thought process? Okay, so this is the thing. If we go this way, what can we do? And then people should be able to count on you that this person will be able to solve problems. And guess what? That's why they pay people more. You cannot, they can employ, for example, a customer service officer and a customer service manager. Both of them can do the same thing. But the reason why a manager is your manager and is being paid like ×3 of what you as an officer, probably an officer has like 3 years, a manager has like 7 years, it's because when there are issues, that manager is the one that is meant to solve it. So when you ask people during interviews and they're like, what if this thing happens? They'll be like, I'll escalate it to my boss. I'll give it to I will escalate it. And that's why the boss is collecting more money, because the boss should be able to solve that problem. So for you as a young graduate, train yourself that as you are growing in your career, you should be able to solve issues. Don't just be the kind of the garbage in and garbage out kind of person. You know, they used to call it what do we used to call it in school? La cram la pour, where we want to cram and pass an exam. Or what do we used to call it back there? I can't remember. Okay, let me not call some slangs that we used to call in school anyway. So that's one. Another soft skills that's needed is effective communication. This is one skill that is underemphasized a lot. It's people don't understand how important it is. Communication is one of the issues most organizations have. You think you're talking, but are people understanding? And personally, I wish I can see some people's faces or even hear that people actually listening to me, but I don't know why it is like this. But let me just move forward. As an employee or someone who needs to grow in their career, you need to be able to communicate well. Communication is not just about knowing how to talk, is knowing how to pass the information that the person is understanding. So there are different types of communication. Let me break it down. There's written communication, there's verbal communication, and there's non-verbal communication. So let me start with verbal communication. You're working with your boss, right? You're working with somebody who should allow you grow in your industry. You should be able to talk and the person is listening. Not some people just feel that I've said my own. If the person does not understand, it's their business, right? You should be able to communicate properly with putting the person in mind that, okay, this person, I'm coming down to this person's level, right? So for example, if I'm somebody that talks very fast and speaks English, right? If I'm talking to a driver, so we have a driver in our office, his English is not so good, is Yoruba. So I would switch to Yoruba for him, even though my Yoruba is not good. And the moment I want to speak English, I'm speaking slowly so that he can understand. I'm trying to communicate to him. I'm not saying, I've said my own. Whether you understand or you don't understand, you can jump into level for all I care. So let's move to written communication. A lot of engineers, they always say, engineer will wake up. They always say engineers don't know how to write. See, you should know how to communicate well. You should be able to type an email and not shoot everybody with a bomb. So if you're this kind of person, I would like to employ you that on your WhatsApp, you, instead of YOU, instead of I''M, you are using AM. Stop it. This kind of habit will not help you when you enter the workplace. And so for me, when I was in school, I made up my mind that I communicate properly or I don't communicate at all. I speak properly or I don't speak at all. Ensure that they say what you do every day becomes a habit, and a habit becomes a lifestyle, right? So ensure that you are building their lifestyle where you are writing properly. You are not just, throwing bomb everywhere. You get to a workplace and I give you and you're to send a report and I'm like, what on earth is this? Proper email etiquette, cannot even to spell punctuation, paragraph, you cannot write properly. I know probably you're engineers, you might think, oh, it's not just to calculate and all of that. Trust me, you will need to send emails a lot of times, regardless of your role, and you don't want to be sidelined and be like, where did they get this villager from? And guess what? When it's time for that promotion, they will probably sideline you for it. Also, emotional intelligence and diplomacy. I decided to mix both of them together. I think a lot of students feel they don't understand the importance of emotional intelligence. Some people are born with it. Some people are born to know how to control their emotions. But emotional intelligence is something you need to, intentionally build. So what is emotional intelligence? Is your ability to manage your emotions and other people's emotions. So they say EQ, emotional competence. How are you able to control yourself? Most people, when they think emotional intelligence, they just think, somebody that doesn't get angry is emotional. No, emotional intelligence involves a whole lot of things. One, you have to be self-aware. Self-aware is you need to understand yourself. You need to understand your emotions. You need to understand your triggers. You need to understand how to deal with things. So you need to understand, for example, you need to understand yourself to that level where you can't manage something you don't understand. You cannot say you want to manage yourself, when you are not self-aware. Somebody is saying you are shouting. Say, I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting. It's you that is saying I'm shouting. Guy, you are shouting, but you are in denial because you are not even self-aware. So once you are aware that, oh, you already am angry, then you know that it looks as if I'm already getting exasperated. I need to keep quiet. I need to some fresh air. But if you're not self-aware, you'll be like, hey, I'm not shouting, I'm not shouting, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's one. Self-awareness is one of the key things in emotional intelligence. Then in managing other people, let me tell you one rule that works for me all the time. I'm this kind of person that I say that I can manage anybody, regardless of the craze you think that you have. I can manage you. My own is this: I want results, and I don't take things personal. Whether you like, you are normal, or you like, you are normal. My own is, what do I want you to do? I want you to do something for me. So if I were going to be managing A, like I know that I just need to tell A, oh, A, do this, A will do it. And I know B is the kind of person that is not, maybe you know that they are pursuing it from his village. You know, there are some people like that they are just, they used to have consequence in their head. For you, you manage that person the way it wants to be managed. There's this golden rule. It said, treat people not the way you want to be treated, but how they want to be treated. So if this kind of person is the kind of person that get angry easily, I'm not being a fool by ensuring I talk to you very well. It's because I want you to submit my report. I want to probably manage you the way you want to be managed. So that's one thing. Diplomacy is key. They call it tact. Most people, they're like this. I've said my own, I'm doing my own. There's some people that they just don't care. They be like, they just talk anyhow, behave anyhow, and they don't think that anybody needs to change. For you to be diplomatic, you need to know when. For example, you need to know when to go and meet your boss, when you should not meet your boss. Somebody is angry, and then that's when you now come and start telling the person tales by moonlight story. You should be able to be tactful, know when to do things, when not to do things, how to say things. Take notes. You need to know how to talk. Don't say this, that's how I am, that's how I am, that's how I talk. When I get somewhere, I will scatter the everywhere. Some people, when they talk, they will just scatter everywhere. I used to be like that. I was very blunt. But now, like you say, Mama, I will not be looking at you. And I will think about what I want to say, think about it very well. Be like a chess player. If I say this, what do you think the results will be? How can I say this thing better that will achieve my results? So, for example, your mouth is smelling. Should I just come and say, oh, God, your mouth is smelling? You can't tell your boss. Or you just, I think, I use deodorant. You have to say, if you say that, obviously, what's the person's reaction? The person is going to be defensive and all of that, right? So, but for you to be able to get your results, you have to think, how can I say it? How can I do it? Do I think this is the time to go? So the load of things in being diplomatic is not politics, so it's wisdom and being emotionally intelligent. Then passion. Passion is that thing that fuels you, right? Passion is something you're not just interested in, because I get a lot of inboxes on LinkedIn. I'm passionate about HR. And I'm like, what makes you passionate about HR? It's not just about saying I'm passionate about engineering. I'm passionate about oil and gas. You just want the money. This is how I will know somebody that is passionate about something. Passion is that thing that keeps you going even in difficult situations. Passion is that thing that makes you creative and think outside the box. Passion is something that is beyond saying I'm interested in engineering. It's those things that makes you think and want to do more than all other people. So you should have passion for what you're doing. You should be not just, passion is not just being energetic. It's about loving it and going the extra mile, right? And then leadership. At a point in your career, even in the energy industry, right? You leave technical bits, you leave doing high seas, you become more of a leader, and as you're growing in the career path, it's your leadership skills that would help you to grow. So leadership is one of the key skills. Leadership is not just saying, oh, I'm a leader. Leadership involves lots of things. It involves knowing how to manage people. It involves knowing how to setting a goal for your team. It involves a lot of things. So you need to start learning how to be a better leader, even if you're in your own little sphere of influence. Like, okay, probably you're a committee member of SPE, planning committee or something like that. How well are you being a good leader? Or are you a dictator? Are you being a leader by example? Or are you the I don't care? You know, different types of leaders. What kind of, and one thing I always do when I interview people, I ask them what's their leadership style, what's their philosophy of leadership, how do you lead people? It varies on different levels. Are you the laissez-faire leader that everybody should just go and be doing what they want to do? It's none of your business. Or are you the kind of person that do as I say, don't do as I do? So those are some of the things you need to take note. I see people asking questions, but let me continue before I start answering questions. That's the next slide. Okay, openness to feedback. See, let me tell you what is to kill a lot of young people. You do something and they call you, let me use one random name. Lolade, this thing you did is not well. This is how you should do it too. Or maybe your boss does not even, maybe your boss is not even doesn't know how to talk very well, for example. Or maybe your boss does say, what kind of rubbish is this? What's this? Depending on how, maybe they are not even they don't know how to give feedback. Some people, there's some people they don't know how to give feedback. They just criticize, can be very annoying. And also people, they give you feedback. They give you some constructive feedback and be like, okay, this, that what you did then, your presentation was not that okay, or this how you are. And you are this kind of person, you must have something to say, Shani. This thing I'm putting, see, I've learned, and I when I'm telling people, right, I try to teach people so they don't make kind of mistakes I made. I used to be the kind of person, they had to sit me down and say, Yewande, once you have something to say every time somebody gives you feedback. Well, and let me tell you the shocker. The moment you're the kind of person that they know that you're not open to feedback, because now I'm managing people. I know some people that they are not open to feedback. Once they do an error, I'll just be looking at them. Because if I tell them, they will have something to say. You know, are you the kind of person that is very defensive? Or the kind of person that when they tell you that, oh, you've done something wrong, you just begin to squeeze face. Like you used to squeeze face for your boyfriend and your mommy and your daddy at home. Don't want to try that one in the workplace. You should be open to feedback. When someone gives you feedback, digest it. Whether you think this person is jealous of you or not, think about it, analyze it, and see how you can improve. That is the only way you will grow. That is the only way you will learn. And you should be the kind of person that you should crave for feedback. See, if my boss doesn't give me feedback, I'll say, okay, what did I do wrong? Don't go and be thinking I'm always perfect. There's always room for improvement. You can never be 100%. Even though those medical stuff, they'll say it's 99.9%. So you, not to talk of a human being, you can never be 100%. But if you are somebody that doesn't even ask for feedback, during interviews, I'm always asking for feedback. Doing whatever, I ask for feedback because I know that I want to grow and I'm open to take that feedback. I'm not squeezing my face like somebody like a bad that I've already. I'm not squeezing my face. I'm like, what's this person saying? The person will not be open to give me feedback tomorrow. You should ensure that you are open to feedback. Then adaptability in the workplace. Today, things can change. Look at this corona period now. Everything has changed. I've been working from home from God knows what. You know, some people now, their work has changed because of this pandemic. How adaptable are you? Are you the kind of person that your boss says, go and do something, and you come and open your job description and say, it's not my job description, no, I cannot do it, please keep your work to yourself. Are you flexible? Are you the kind of person that you are even willing to do different things and you're adaptable to whatever conditions the organization brings? That's one of the soft skills that will help you grow. You should be adaptable. I'm not saying you should be a confused human being that does not more for themselves. But let us know that there will be change, right? You should read this book, Who Moved My Cheese, right? Let us know that as change is coming, you should learn to be adaptable to various teamwork. See, unless you're going to be working in a silo, unless you're going to be your own CEO, your own ED, you are the everything. You know those kind of businesses, right? You need to learn to work in a team. Now, the future of work and what people do, most multinationals, right? They during their interview process, they call they add what's this group? Is here a group open house? I've forgotten what they call it anyway. They pay you in a team. They want to see how well you work in a team. Are you the one that you want to carry the work on your edge? Only you. You don't carry team members along. See, there are a lot of key things that help you become a good team member. I recently did a soft skills training on teamwork. Let me give you some of the things I actually told them. Being a good team player, you should know, apart from having a vision for your team, you should be able to work well with people. You should be able to know how to give um, constructive feedback. Some people will obviously be lazy and some other things. You should know how to give feedback. You should also not be a micromanager. All the work is only you that wants to do it, right? You should know how to delegate, depending on whatever. Teamwork is something that is very key, because guess what? If you're a bad team player, I have team members of engineers. I know some people that everybody doesn't like them. And I was discussing with my boss recently. He was like, see, this guy, this is we that we are watching the team. We know that this person is very stubborn and he's the kind of person that he likes to work alone. He just carries his own on his head. He does not know how to contribute. He doesn't know how to talk well. He doesn't know how to work with a team and take team effort. These people will gang up, and not kind of gang. You will even know. They will see you falling into a ditch and they'll say, continue going, continue going. You've not gotten there. Oh yeah, stay there, and they will allow you fall down. They will look at you. Because Nigerians, they know how to gang up against people. So not that you should be playing politics and all of that. You need to know and learn. See, these soft skills, nobody is born with them. Nobody is not. Some people are naturally good, no doubt. But for you, if you are not the kind of person that has all these things, you need to be intentional. Intentional is the word, to build the soft skills and say, okay, Yewande, I want to learn how to be a better team player for my future in the energy industry. What are some of the things I need to do? Now in this my little sphere of SPE, or maybe you are in MSSN, or maybe you are in church, or maybe you are in, mosque, or maybe whatever you are in, right? Look at some of your weaknesses. Ask people for your weaknesses, right? And see, what are some of the things that can help me? People, students, they will just tell you, take it very well and see how you can improve. Go back to the same people. I think I've already started telling you what is in my next slide anyway. And last but not the least, strong work ethics. This was strong work ethics. I've worked in like 4 stations, right? And there's some people that, okay, let me start with the foundation of the work ethics. You need to have personal values. You need to have a good work ethics. And, for me, if you go and ask some of my bosses, or how you will know if you have a good work ethics, ask people you work with. And they say, what is this personal work ethics? It should be related to your personal core values. So that's what I was saying. To build ethics, you need to highlight and have personal values. When you see organizations, they put company values, they have integrity, we have this, we have that. It might not be true. But if you sit down and say, what are some of what's wrong with it? Sit down and write it in your diary, ensure that you will live. Now, those core values affect your and your inactions. That will make you do things and then to do things. For example, if you say integrity is one of your core values, it's because it's integrity that will not make you pay bribe to pass a course, because it is against your personal core values. Forget your beliefs. Everybody has their beliefs. What the Bible says and what the Quran says. What are the things that drive you as an individual? It should be related to your beliefs, whatever they are. You should have one, and that is how you can relate it to your work ethics. For example, one of my key work ethics is, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. This is just one of my own. I ensure that I'm ethical about my work. Whatever I'm asked to do, I put it on my life. Before I don't wait for somebody to come and start saying, you are not you're not doing this, you are not doing that. I ensure that I'm my own voice, I'm my own I think I learned it from my biology teacher. She was something that she doesn't like people come and insult her. So before you come and insult me, she does what to do. So you do it well, and you're giving feedback. So how work ethics, the one work ethics I also work with is integrity, also one of them. I have different work ethics. So define what you want and work with it. Next. So how to develop your soft skills? How to develop your soft skills? One, take a course or a training aimed at improving specific soft skills. So people are saying the line is breaking. Maybe let me put off my video. Maybe it would be better. Is it better now? I'm reading the chat, so I'm saying no, it's not. Can you hear me? Just say yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? So Harriet can hear me. Another people hear me. Okay, Bukumi can hear me. Motola can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Enough. Okay, let me see if I can check my audio. Or should I speak louder? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Maybe I need to see if I can speak louder. Okay, so let's just move forward, right? I'll try to speak louder. Let me just try to bring the system closer to my mouth. So how to develop your soft skills? One, take a course or training aimed at improving specific soft skills, right? So fine, you might not be among those people that are born with it. There are some people, they are naturally born with good soft skills. They are very gentle. They know how to give feedback. They know how to take feedback. They are very adaptable. They have good work ethics. I know some people like that. That's the way, that's their nature. If your nature is, if you're the kind of person that you are not collaborative, you don't have good team spirit, you don't know how to communicate properly, you don't know how to write well, you don't know how to speak well. I even forgot to even mention verbal communication, right? Non-verbal communication is those kind of things. You don't have to talk before you share. This kind of person that you are rolling your eyes up and down, see somebody's putting you. Like the kind of person that you are, somebody's talking and then you are looking absent-minded. So you need to take a course. Identify some of the areas of improvement in terms of soft skills. Go for a training, and training helps because it helps you to dissect your problem and helps you to grow. Identify a coach or a mentor who would help you. And when choosing a coach or a mentor, you must have identified that this person has those skills that you have. And then so you can start with being a mentor, maybe a physical one, identifying and looking at this person. For example, I once had what I felt was highly emotionally intelligent. And I started to study her. She's this kind of person that if she's angry, I noticed Mrs. B, if she's angry, and you come to our office and say, Mrs. B, I want to do something, you will see it in her face. Well, guess what? She'll just want you smile. She say, Yewande, I understand, please. I'm not in the right mind. Please, can you come back in 5 or 10 minutes? And then next time, doesn't have to tell me, because that's how she manages her own emotions, right? She does, and that is one of the good. When you are very angry, or when you are hot, or when you are disturbed, that's not the time that you come and be answering somebody or you responding to an email. You should wait till you calm down. So before we training, and I realized that's one of the coping mechanisms. I've already seen somebody that manages her emotions very well. I've never seen her get angry before, right? Even if they are acting pressure on her, she knows how to we as staff members. There are some people that when they breathe fire on them, they come and breathe the fire on you back. She's that kind of person, and that's the kind of what me I want to be. So that is a mentor I identified. Then a coach will coach you towards something. So you can get a coach who can coach you and help see your problem and look for ways to help you solve that. Then be intentional. I always say See, if you are, nobody's going to come from the sky and come and say abracadabra. This you will change. No, you need to personally and intentionally change. Don't be of this kind of that's how I am. That's how I am. I hate that kind of statement. Be intentional about improving your soft skills. Then also affiliate yourself with a group or a profession or an association or colleagues that will influence you. For example, if you don't know how to talk well, there are groups like Toastmasters Club that will teach you how to speak well. You know, are your friends those kind of broken people, they're always speaking rubbish, they will start English for you, and you want to grow up to probably communicate well. You need to probably change some of the friends and people that will help you communicate well. Or associations, for example, it's not like you go for you meet people, maybe you are very shy, you don't know how to network, go out and then work with people who's very good at it, and then you just affiliate yourself with groups that would actually help you toward developing these soft skills. Yeah, thank you. Any question? You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CareerLifeNG. I usually share lots of career tips, career articles. I have a blog. So yeah, let me take some of the questions that I saw on the chat group. Let me take some of the questions I saw on the chat group. You can send in your questions. Somebody asked, let me go to, because I know that I saw somebody. Somebody asked, is there a difference between being blunt and saying things the way they are? What is being blunt? See, one of my weaknesses, I used to be very blunt. I will say, they say, you are the man that go and I will just point out like that. So being blunt and saying things the way they are is the same thing. So for me, what I have learned personally is this, right? There are some things that there's how you can say things. It's not everything that so thank God for growth. It's not everything that you will see like that. You can say it too, but how you say it is the difference between blunt and being wise. Do you understand? For example, maybe you're working with a boss. This boss, maybe you're working with a colleague. This decision this colleague is making is a very selfish decision. In your mind, you feel maybe let me just use a random name. Kayode is saying, let's do this thing for his own personal gain. And your mind is kind of being selfish. Do you understand? Rather than say, oh, look at this case. So Kayode, you are selfish. Look at the way you do this thing. What will you be thinking about only yourself? Can't you think, those kind of, you are being blunt. But now, if you say, Kayode, you are a selfish human being, you are a self-centered human being, it's just very egocentric. You can't back up the grammar and pack it on his head. What are you going to get from Kayode? Kayode will be defensive. Number one, he's going to be counter-aggressive. He's going to come and say, you need to come, look at the way your head is. And both of you start fighting. So this is it, right? Rather than just talk anyhow and just bring everything down. What are you looking to get from that conversation? How can you solve that problem? How can you get results? Maybe you still want Kayode's selfish thoughts to go around. So you can just come at it like, okay, why don't we do this way? Why don't we do that way? And I say, no. For example, Kayode is your team member. You can probably involve other people that, okay, these are some of the things I think we can do. These are some of the things I think we can do. Don't attack somebody's personality. Do you understand? Try to look for problem to the solution with things that you can justify your case, that you end up getting results, rather than attacking somebody's personality. Most times when we are blunt, we usually attack people. Most times, people who are blunt attack people. They don't really solve the problem. And so when you are blunt, you are not being wise. You are just being very foolish. Because last class, the problem will not get solved. You said your mind. Yes, you said your mind. How far is that saying your mind gotten you? It hasn't gotten you anywhere. So why don't you just solve the problem? Don't attack anybody personally. So that is the difference between being blunt and things the way they are. Saying if you are trying to grow in your career, you should try to solve the problem and try to be less, I would say less foolish, because over time we've been foolish in the past. We've said things, You're thinking that you're 90 shiny and more, you know how to talk people. By the time they gang up against you, you will just realize that you are nowhere. But you should know how to say things, when to say things. So maybe even if what you're saying is right, do you think this is the right? Maybe when this person is broke, for example, and then you can say, no, you need to do this, you need to do that. Do you understand? You should be very, very wise and diplomatic, and study people's emotions. How does Coyote feel at the time? Probably Coyote has what with his wife or with his girlfriend. You understand? Look at it. Is he happy? Is he sad? That's determine how you will say things. So understanding not only your emotions, but trying to understand other people's emotions and seeing how you can manage their emotions. Like, okay, this is an angry person. This is how you manage an angry person. This is how you manage somebody that is calm. Yeah. Any other question? Can we all meet on my phone or something? Oh, I don't know. Any other question? Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, madam. Can you hear us? Hello? Tosin, I think you want to take it from there. Oh, it looks like Tosin's out.
Somebody said, I would love to elaborate on the leadership styles we talked about earlier. So there are different leadership styles. There is the coercive leader, the Hitler. I call them like the Hitlers. Those kind of leaders are very. So I can remember a few, right? So you can have a set of various leadership styles. I know coercive. I know laissez-faire. Those are the people that sit back and allow people to do things and do stuff. I know. Well, I can't remember, but there are different leadership styles, right? And one of the best leadership styles is the kind of is the lead by example and kind of leadership. This is so there are different people that are for me, right? This are that I think I want to work with. Or I think I get the best result from people. The kind that not only understands what they are doing, not clueless, they have a vision for the team, right? So one of the key things in leadership is you need to understand where you're taking to. You need to know where you're taking these people to in the first place. You can't just be like Moses that is going to promise and he doesn't know where it's going to. He's just waiting for God to just direct him. You need to have a vision. You need to have a plan for your team. That will form what you will do, and then be the kind of leader that listens a lot, the kind of leader that actually that leads by example, not just do as I say, but do as I do. So depending on what you want to do, or you want to be the wicked type of leader, that's the question type. There are some people that are like that. They are they break down, shut down everybody, but nobody wants that kind of leader. So leadership is going beyond technically sound, but knowing how to lead people towards the goal or towards a destination. How you do it, how people do it differs. Some people they are making billions of money, but everybody hates them. Everybody hates them. They are not, and as a leader, not everybody will like you. Are you the kind of leader that if everybody hates you, then there's something wrong with you? Right? So you lead people, they make money, but at the end, you have destroyed their personality, you have destroyed their emotions, you have destroyed their self-worth. They wake up and they're crying to work almost every day. So depending, and just because you have power, I feel like, the way some people feel, some HR people like they are gods, right? So, you shouldn't be like a god. Nobody is a god in any way. If last, they're going to get rid of you. So in terms of leadership styles, you can just Google various leadership styles and see which one you think works well for you. Any other question? Any other question?
So any other question, guys? We still have a couple of minutes to spare.
I don't know if in the absence of any other question.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, that's good. So in the absence of any other question, we come to the end of our second session, the soft skills session, where Mrs. Yewande has put us through the soft skills required for career advancement in the energy industry. I would like to appreciate her efforts and taking out of our time to educate us as a top HR professional. So a big thank you to Mrs. Yewande, and also thank you to everybody that tuned in to join us for this session. It wouldn't have been the same without you guys. So a big thank you to everyone that joined. Mr. Fred, do you have anything you want to say?
Okay, so I just want to say thank you, Mrs. Yewande. Thanks for at least taking our time to share most of your experiences with the students. Can you hear me? Hello? Looks like Mrs. Yewande is not hearing us. Hello?
Hello.
Tosin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear.
So it's like there's a problem at our own end. We'll need to check why this is happening, because I doubt she's getting our feedback. So, is there a way you could possibly maybe she would need to cut? Okay, she's out.
She's out already.
Yeah. So we'll just wait for her to come back and then we'll continue. You could reach out privately also to see. I think there's a problem with our network. So once she's back, you let me know.
Okay. So Mrs. Yewande is back. She's back.
Okay. Good afternoon, madam. Can you hear us? She's on mute. Hello, madam. Can you hear us now? Good afternoon, madam. Can you hear us? I think her network is really bad. Okay, no problem. If you can hear us, we just want to appreciate the time you've taken out to be able to share your experiences with us from your busy schedule. We really appreciate at least most of what you've shared with us would definitely help us in the workplace, in our interpersonal relationship with people in and outside the work environment. I think you have touched a lot of a lot of areas, which is quite interesting, and I believe we have noted most of these points, and we would actually apply them wherever we are, or in whatever kind of associations we might be in. I think it's not just tied to the work environment. Having your emotional intelligence on, or wearing that cap always, it's key, and also knowing when to say things and when not to say them, how to approach, or as what's her name, Madam Ogogo had said before, trying to also be in line with your boss's objective. So basically, most of what you have shared with us today, I think it's key, and I believe we as students we have learned a lot from this. Thanks a lot. Okay, Tosin, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fred, for that. It's rather unfortunate that we can't really hear clearly, but then I believe every one of us appreciates the just concluded session, and I personally I have learned a whole lot of things, and I would like to believe that every other person too has learned so many things. So just before we leave, I don't know if Mutunra, you would like to say something. She's the chairperson of Engineering Ladies Day, but I don't know if she doesn't want to say that, then we'll conclude today's event. Okay, so I believe she maybe she's not with us or something. So on behalf of every one of us, every member of Unilag SP student chapter, we say a big thank you to Mrs. Yewande for enlightening us today on soft skills for career advancement in the energy industry. I also like to appreciate Mr. Fred, the Student Affairs Chairperson for SP Lagos session, for attending today's event. We are happy to have him with us too. So at this point, I'd like to tell everyone goodbye. And in addition to the sessions too, we'll be reimbursing some of the participants because we understand that a lot of us have used up our data. So we'll be reimbursing some of our participants along the line. We'll send out messages and mails to reach out to you guys on how that would be happening. So at this point, goodbye guys. Thank you for joining us. I hope we meet some other time.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, bye.